Have you ever heard something scratching behind your walls at 3 a.m.? What if the sound wasn't mice, but a voice whispering your name? In the quiet town of Adams, Tennessee, a new family moved into a restored farmhouse in 2023, completely unaware that it stood just a few miles from the site of one of America's most terrifying supernatural legends, the Bell Witch haunting. This story isn't about what happened then, it's about what's happening now. The Thompsons were a military family. Marcus, his wife Rachel, and their 15-year-old daughter Lily. Marcus had just retired after 20 years of service. They wanted peace, countryside, and a break from the chaos of city life. They thought this old farmhouse would be the perfect place to start over. For the first few weeks, everything was calm. Rachel started gardening. Lily enrolled in the local school, and Marcus took up woodworking in the barn. But then the knocking started. It began lightly, like wood tapping against the walls in the middle of the night, always between 2 and 3 a.m. Marcus thought it was just the old house settling, until Lily came into their room one night, pale and shaking, and said, "There's a woman in my closet. She knows my name." Marcus, being the tough ex-soldier, brushed it off and told her it was a nightmare. He checked the closet. Nothing. He promised to install a nightlight and keep the hallway lit. But that night, the knocking got louder. And this time, it was followed by a low female voice whispering something none of them could quite understand. They set up cameras, motion detectors, even brought in pest control. But the recordings captured nothing, except for one night. On October 4th, the camera in Lily's room picked up a faint voice whispering, "I never left." The family didn't know this yet, but back in the 1800s, the Bell family lived less than a mile from where the Thompsons now stayed. The Bell Witch was said to have tormented their daughter Betsy for years. Scratching sounds, voices, even physical attacks. It was the only documented case of a spirit reportedly causing a person's death, and now it seemed like she was back. One afternoon, while Rachel was alone in the kitchen, she heard a loud crash upstairs. She ran up to find Lily's mirror shattered into a perfect spiral. In the center was a name written in dust, Betsy. No one had spoken that name in the house. They hadn't even researched the legend yet. That night, Marcus had a dream. In it, he was standing outside the house, looking in through the kitchen window. Inside, his wife and daughter were sitting at the table, but their faces were blank, completely expressionless. Then, from behind, a woman in a black dress walked into view and whispered into Rachel's ear. Marcus couldn't hear what was said, but Rachel's head slowly turned toward him in the dream, her eyes empty. When he woke up, his pillow was soaked with sweat, and the smell of sulfur filled the room. The turning point came on Halloween night. Lily had been invited to a sleepover, and Marcus and Rachel stayed home to watch horror movies and hand out candy. Around 11 p.m., someone knocked on the door, 3 distinct, heavy knocks. Rachel opened it. No one was there. Just as she was about to close it, a woman's voice from behind whispered, "Don't let her go." They both froze. That same night, their phones lost signal. The power went out, and in the dark, they could hear footsteps moving upstairs. Only no one else was home. Marcus grabbed his flashlight and rushed up the stairs. The door to Lily's room was wide open. Her bed looked slept in, and on the mirror, written in fog, were the words, "You should have kept her here." They called Lily's friend. She was there, safe, but something had mimicked her presence in the house. The next morning, Marcus drove straight to the Adams Historical Society. That's when he learned about the Bell Witch legend. The curator showed him old documents and letters from the 1800s. One letter mentioned something strange. The witch feeds off belief. The more you notice her, the stronger she becomes. So the Thompsons decided to ignore it. No more cameras. No more talking about it. They refused to react, and it seemed to work. For a while. But just last week, May 15th, Rachel found something buried beneath the garden she started a year ago. An old box sealed shut with rusted nails. Inside was a porcelain doll, no eyes, no mouth, and a handwritten note. I was never buried. And since then, the knocking has returned. But this time, it's coming from beneath the house. Do you think the Bell Witch is back? Was the Thompson family just unlucky? Or is something calling her back to this land? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And if you want to hear what happens next, don't forget to subscribe to Ghost Story 2.0. We're just getting started.